What it do, family? It's your boy Tim J with another Walk Talk. It's cloudy out here. It's raining. Hopefully the wind ain't blowing too much. But, I was just reading and stuff. But I was, I just walked underneath a tree limb, right? And when you walk underneath a tree limb, you see the branches that are low. And I was like, yeah, I can walk underneath it. And I walked underneath it. And so the thought came to my head when Absalom was riding his chariot and, he got caught in the thistle branch of the tree limb, with his hair. And he was hanging from the tree by his head, right? I was like, is that what happened? He thought he can go underneath it and then get tore up? Because that's exactly what just happened to me. I got tore up with that thing. I probably got scratches all in my face and stuff. Hopefully the wind is not too bad because the wind is picking up, y'all. But yeah, man, I just wanted to get on here. I was just thinking about, the last couple of weeks. I was thinking about Driven and all the stuff that we were doing. And, I'm just reflecting on conversations that I done had this week. Stuff that's, going on in others' lives, what's happening in my life, and how it's all related, right? And, yeah, man, I was, getting feedback on the sermon from Sunday, Dad, and this is wild, and people are just different, man. Hopefully this don't sound like I'm just venting or whatever, but it's like, dog, my dude, my G, my guy, like, he didn't say anything about Charlie Kirk as of, like, he was a righteous man or he was a preacher, a patriot, he was a martyr. He didn't say nothing. He was like, this dude just wanted to have conversations and debated people. And people walked out of the sanctuary, pick up their Bibles and walk out. Now, I heard this from multiple people, and it was multiple people that did it. So I'm like, that's wild. I seen one of them. I knew one of the people that walked out, but people over here I'm like, is our world that bad? It's raining now. Is our world that sensitive? We can't even have conversations about the dude. Who cares about his character? I don't care about his character. If that's the case, the whole Bible, we shouldn't even listen or read or trust the Bible. If everybody's character was bad, if we're looking at the lens of America today, I was like, man, this dude, didn't know much about him. I know, I'm a fan of him because he talked. He talked that talk and he was about that walk. Even if he was right or wrong, you couldn't back him down. He debated you and he said whatever he needed to say, get it off his chest. And I love that. Shoot, I wish I had that I wasn't afraid of what people may think or say or do. Outcast me, put me in the shoot. He found a tribe that believed in him, And I don't agree with everything he said, but the fact that you have a pastor who didn't say nothing political except for, hey, this man said he wanted to have a dialogue, conversation, debate. You don't like what I got to say? Let's have a conversation about it. Just saw a video about Van Jones, the CNN guy, which is wrong on everything. He even said about Charlie Kirk, like, yo, the dude still wanted to have a conversation. He texting me and having a conversation. He just wanted to have a conversation. That's all that we supposed to do, bro, is talk. You're not supposed to die over that. But anyway, back to the church thing. Malachi is all about discussion. 8 discussions. Open public forum dialogue. Debates. That's what Malachi is on. Now, the crazy part about this, Daddy didn't understand why he wanted to do Malachi. He was like, this is weird. Why would I do Malachi right now? Like, there's no point of Malachi, right? And when he came up and he told us that sermon the week before church anniversary, what did he say? He said he didn't know why God wanted him. It's raining, y'all. Why God wanted him to do that, right? So I was like, that's cool. But then he titled it One Last Talk, right? One Last Talk. Well, 3 days later, Kirk died having his one last talk. And what was Kirk doing? Going to college campuses, talking to anybody who wanted to with an open mic. Debate, praise, have a good conversation, whether you disagree or you don't, or you agree. You had the dialogue, you had the conversation. And that's what Malachi is all about. And people that got upset about that, I was like, wow, y'all are all in y'all feels. Get out your feelings, but I can't get mad at you because we look at John, right? John chapter 3, we got Nicodemus. Nicodemus was all in his feelings. This man was confused and he was concerned. He didn't know what to think, right? This dude was a law of laws. Jesus over here saying, don't you supposed to know all these things? You the one of the teachers. You the teacher. You're the one that have hope. You're a Pharisee. You're the one that know the law, but you also understand that there's a hope. There's an afterlife. You wasn't a Sadducee, but then also you was in the Sanhedrin. That means you was amongst the leaders of all the spiritual elite. So you're supposed to be able to discern things that are righteous and unrighteous, things that are true and untrue, things that are political or non-political. This is what you're supposed to do. Decipher it. And Jesus was like, yo, you're supposed to know this stuff, dog. You're supposed to know. So I can't get mad at people because people, that's what they have the same concerns and they're conflicted and they don't understand things. Yeah, that's just people in general, right? So I get that. But man, to walk out and then what's up with society, guys? Are y'all really butthurt? Sorry, using language. Are y'all really that butthurt? Conversations that we were having, why you want to attack the character of people? If that's the case, none of us should be saved if you're a believer in Jesus, because I know your character's foul. My character is flawed and foul. So why are we upset about that? Man, this sound kind of angry, like I'm angry, but in my head, this sound was sounding pretty good. But now I'm just frustrated because it's like, bro, the people that I thought, and this is good because the season that I'm in, man, I'm in a weird season right now. After I did this fast, I told y'all before, after I did that 40, God said there was going to be some elevation, but I suck. So the stuff that I can control and that I can handle, I need to get better on it. So with Driven, yeah, man, I'm about to make this like the greatest thing ever. Sunday school, this is about to be the greatest thing ever. With the stuff that we're about to do, outreach, I'm about to kill it, right? And I'm going to kill it through the strength of the Holy Spirit because he's going to lead and guide and direct, right? And so it might seem like I'm going by myself on this thing, but when you look at the Bible, most of the people, the leaders, they all were by themselves. So I'm in the right company. So anyway, so with all that being said, people that I thought was like with, Team Jesus, I see that they are Team Jesus with concern, right? They're Nicodemuses. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of Nicodemuses. We know the law, we know the word, but I'm still concerned, right? And curious, and I want this thing to come my way. It needs to all make sense. But when we look at the scriptures, if you look at John chapter 3, and you look at John chapter 7, and you look at John chapter 19, we see Nicodemus. He didn't understand none of it. He still became a quiet Christian. He was in the backgrounds being a Christian on the background, him and Arimathea, right? When they got Jesus' body and they put it in that borrowed tomb and it said Nicodemus was there and he had the 100 pounds of myrrh and all that good stuff to prepare the body for burial, right? So we see that he was a believer, but he was a quiet believer, right? And so now you got the question you have to ask yourself, you got quiet believers or do you have outspoken believers, right? And both of them are needed. Some of them are needed in our situation, right? Now, with all that being said, let me get back on topic. I was just really frustrated to hear that, to see that. Even in our own group, we had a conversation in Driven. And, to end the conversation. And it went with the minutia, and that's what I was talking about, the minutia. And I might have to do a lesson fully on the minutia of things, on minutia, what that actually looked like and what that actually means when it comes to like the gospel and all of that. It's the main thing remains the main thing. Jesus crucified, glorified, resurrected, died for our sins. His blood has washed us and all that. Like that's that's the main thing, right? All the stuff that happened. Paul was a killer, but he became the greatest preacher. Well, if we were going to use the logic that we're using today, Paul, we wouldn't want to listen to Paul. Paul killed Christians. He was the murderer. He was the one that was out there doing that. He's the one that was forcing the matters on things, right? And so if we would look at character, we wouldn't look at him. Martin Luther King Jr., right? MLK. There's so much craziness about him that he did all this good, but he was the most foulest person. So if we're using that logic of people and how he want to debate other folks and get mad at people and call people black, the DEI situation and all the stuff that Charlie Kirk was talking about, I'm like, y'all tripping. Because then we have to go with David. David was the worst of the worst, but he did so much good. Like I hope that makes sense. Like you see the foolishness in the logic about his character. Who cares about Donald Trump and having all these babies and all? Who cares? At the end of the day, God is using him. And if you want to get mad at me on that, get mad. I don't care. So it's just like you got to look at stuff through a spiritual lens. God used foul people. I was talking to one of the girls out of the Driven group, and that's what she said. She was literally like, at the end of the day, like that's what happened. Like we wouldn't even have the Bible if God didn't use foul men. And I will even take it even a step further. Foul men, look, I trust the Bible even more because God used foul people to be used for the gospel's sake. Yeah, because if he would have hid all the wrongs that the people did, then I wouldn't been able to trust that God because he's holding something back. But because he didn't hold nothing back, he let me talk about David, how David is a man after God's own heart, but he was a murderer, a thief, a stealer, a killer, premeditated murder, a worse family man. He wasn't a good husband. He had all these side chicks. Like think about it. And God used that man to transform a whole nation. He broke the Jewish culture about the eating the consecrated bread, right? So he could save life. Like think about that, right? Back to Paul. Paul was a killer of all killers, but he was the smartest man of all men. The dude was the greatest thing on sliced bread for the Jewish faith. But at the end of the day, he said to live is Christ, to die is gain. Kill me, bro. I don't care. I'm going to be more outspoken. And then you got to understand, we got to understand this too. When you look at the whole Charlie Kirk situation, he wasn't a preacher. So why are church people upset? The man wasn't a preacher. He professed to be a Christian and he debated in a public square. Let's get some context. He was in a public square debate. He wasn't in a church building. He wasn't a pastor. He is a great debater. So I'm sorry if it seemed like I'm lashing out, but I'm just like, yo, this stuff is wild to me as believers. But then it comes to this spiritual maturity. At the end of the day, are you spiritual mature? And when you have conversations and you hear people talk, you can see where they at, what level of maturity they are at, right? I'm not saying I'm eating steak and potatoes every day and all of that good old stuff. But I understand that there's some conversations that need to be had in public, and there's some conversations that need to be held out at the house. There's only one or two people need to be there. There's some stuff that I understand that I won't speak on, and there's some stuff that I need to speak on. Like there's discernment in conversations because you are spiritually mature. Some stuff shouldn't get you upset. Culture is going to be culture. That shouldn't get you upset, my dude. That shouldn't get you upset, my girl. That shouldn't get you all riled up because that's the culture that we live end. Wars, rumors of wars, the earth is aching, and all, like that's the point. Our world is corrupt, so there's going to be a corrupt way of thinking. There's going to be a corrupt way of living. If it was a perfect world, perfect society, then Jesus wouldn't have to die. Do you understand? But if you're not spiritually mature, you're not going to understand that. You're going to be just as confused, just like Nicodemus was. How do I be born again? Do I have to go back into my mother's womb? What? No, Nicodemus. No, you need to be reborn by the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, and the word of my words. Jesus is going to birth something new inside of you to make you a new man, a new creature, a new thing. And so that's where we're at. So how do we get that? I said all that to say this. How do we become the men and women that we need to decipher spiritual things from worldly things? Is we got to stay in our word, bro. I stay in our word. We got to be in our word. If we're not in our word, then you're not going to know. You're going to think differently. That's why we have to renew our minds daily so we can start to think right. We have to think right. Because thinking is what causes all the emotional fire, or AKA the triggers of our lives. That's what happens. And man, it seems like I'm ranting, I'm getting passionate. It's just frustrating as a preacher to see your people. And I say your people because I believe y'all my people. If I love you, if I know you, or I don't know you, you know, you're my people. But at the end of the day, it's like, fam, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't care about what your character is. You could be a creep for all I know. Do you love Jesus? All right, you love Jesus. How are we gonna show Jesus to the world? Are you doing anything? Are you loving man? Okay, yeah, Matthew 22. Are you loving man? Yeah. Are you loving God? Okay. You can do whatever you want, bro, because you're not going to do anything that's going to mess with your walk with God or mess with your walk with man. So you can do whatever you want. You might be different. You might be weird. You might be strange. You might be that person that people don't understand. That's fine. People didn't understand Jesus. People thought he was strange. People thought he was weird. He didn't have the education that everybody else had, but he was the greatest preacher known to man. Like, think about it. He was the word of God, the Logos. Like this is the stuff that is wild. God used the uncharacteristic things to bring change into our world, and for everybody and believers to be having sides on this whole situation is wild to me. That doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, the boy was a human. He lost a wife, lost a husband, kids lost their daddy. Y'all, where's the humanity in that? Like, you don't no, you thinking about side. It's the stuff that he said. It was the things that he was doing. What? Look, you know what I did yesterday? And this is so wild. This is what I did yesterday. I watched 12 videos yesterday. And those who said they wanted videos, I'll send them out. I'm sorry. I had to watch 12 videos. I watched 12 videos, long form, short form. And I watched the sound bites, and I was just watching videos. Out of the 12 videos that I watched, 11 of them I agreed with, right? 100%. I agree with view everything. 100%. I agree with it 100%. One video I was like, okay, you kind of reaching, but you know, you have to give or take. He's not perfect. I'm not perfect. We're gonna have flaws on it. But I think that's pretty good. Out of 12 videos I saw, I was like, yo, this dude. Now here's the crazy part about this whole situation that I think nobody is talking about and that people need to talk about. Man, I didn't think I was going to be long today, guys. I guess when it's raining outside, you know, and you're walking in circles, you know, the juice is just flowing. This is how you do sermon prep, just by the way. Just letting you know, this is how sermon prep normally happens. But no, like the crazy thing I think people are not talking about, they had his funeral on Sunday. One, I was kind of frustrated because why was it on a Sunday? Because I didn't understand funerals on Sunday in general. I'm just a weirdo. Funerals on Sunday, you know. But anyway, and I was just looking at like the stats on the videos and like the live stream. And I think about this, guys. This dude wasn't a preacher, but it was on ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, live. Like, so now you got those, right? But then But then there was all the streaming sites. You had the YouTube, you had Hulu, you had YouTube Live, you had HBO Max, you had all these streaming services platforms. Then you had individual streamers on their platform streaming it. Bro, they said the numbers are crazy. They said that it was almost 200 million plus people was watching this and counting, because not all the numbers are in yet. Counting was watching the funeral of Charlie Kirk. Now, here's the crazy part about that. The gospel was preached. And I mean, the gospel was preached. Let me say that again. The gospel was preached. Now, think about this, guy. Think about this. Now, this is the preacher in me. God used a foul, unrighteous, unholy, hated person of the United States who had some followers that loved him, had some haters that hate him, and he used that man so that through his death, you cannot deny this, through his death, 200 plus people got to hear the gospel. I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Maybe he was built for this. I don't know. Maybe this was his divine purpose. I don't know. But you telling me through his death, 200 and some million people got to hear the gospel? I don't know. You could say, hey, this is a redeeming thing. God used this foul dude for redemption. Yep, that's what he did with me. That's what he did for any believer. He took the foul and made them right. Made them righteous. We have his righteousness. The gospel was preached. Now, I don't know who all got saved through that, but I do know the gospel was preached. And the gospel was preached through conversation, through word, through story. Like it was coming through song. Bruh, you tripping. I might not agree with Buddy on everything he said. I might not even understood where he even came up with that thought. But what I do know is God used that thing so that the gospel can be proclaimed. To live is Christ, to die is gain. I don't know why I went on this rant. I don't know, because it's raining and I'm just walking in circles right now. I don't know. I just had to get that off my chest, because it's just frustrating to see believers fighting over this. There is no side. There is no right or wrong. The thing is, at the end of the day, dude died. At the end of the day, someone died. And that's the whole thing. But then the cool thing about it, the gospel was proclaimed. And if the gospel was proclaimed, that means Jesus was glorified. So, sometimes I kind of wish I had that gall, that demeanor, that drive to want all the smoke. But then also have the mind and the will and the understanding to know everything. Now think about this, and then I'll be done, because this is getting kind of out of control, and I'm just talking right now. Like, this dude was a debater. He knew your stuff better than you knew you. Like, what? And that's the one thing in seminary, right? If we wanted to talk to Mormons, right, we would have to know more about the Mormon faith than they do. If we want to talk to Jehovah's Witnesses, we have to talk about we got to know more about the Jehovah's Witnesses faith than we do. We want to talk to the Hindus, the Muslims. We need to know more about this dude knew more about anything. Like, he was just an encyclopedia, and he had the numbers to back it up. And then this crazy thing is, he would use the numbers that came from the People site, right? So if he was talking about Planned Parenthood and stuff, he would use their site to get all their numbers and the stuff. So it was like, oh no, I'm got it from the site that you said, that you claim to be the right numbers. Like, that stuff is wild to me. And he was smart and he was good. But all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, God got the glory. And that's the beautiful thing about the gospel and about being a believer, bro. Our Savior, he loved us enough to die for me. Think about that. A foul, foolish, think I know it all, think I'm right all the time, think it's all about me, rude, consistent and being mean, inconsistent and showing the love, just a foul dude, crappy dad, crappy husband, crappy preacher, crappy teacher, yeah, no, and then he could take that, mold it, shape it, use it, that can use to help somebody else in their life, right? And that's the gospel, bro. And so at the end of the day, stop fighting, bro. Matthew 22. That's all I can say. Matthew 22. Matthew 22. Love God, love man, bro. Love God, love man. Be mindful. Have some meat. Stop drinking the Similac. Stay off the minutia. The minutia is that murky stuff. If it's not going to be about the gospel, why are we even fighting and arguing and talking about it? Talk about it outside. If that's what you want to walk through it. But it's not a gospel situation. I ain't worried about it. And that's just me. That's just my thinking. This is Remember Walk Talk of Tim J. I'm sorry. So yeah, this is gonna be a YouTube one. So all right, I think I'm done. Hey y'all, I love y'all. Can't wait until Sunday or to the next Walk Talk. Remember, God love you, so do I. Ain't nothing can do about it. And this is my thoughts, guys. Again, this is my thoughts. This is just my views. This is just me talking. All right, the juices were flowing. I had something on my mind. I guess I needed to share it. All right, so don't take this. Oh, this is Pastor Wilbert. Oh, this is Bible Way. This is how they think. This is all Tim J. All right, this is my observation of what I've seen, what I've heard, and what I processed, and yeah, what I've seen in the culture, what I've seen in the church world, what I've seen in the political world, what I just see as believers in general. And so, but yeah, man, that's it. That's all I got. Hey, I love y'all. Thank y'all for listening to the talk. I'm out of here. It's still raining. Actually, it's raining harder, so I'm about to run to the car. All right, love y'all. Peace.